free sampling the pilots gave us pretty much the trend that is seen in the literature. With the rise in income, there was a rise in waste generation. Per capita waste is gram per person per day. And almost every city to south, that falls into low income, goes to the high as you go across north. So that trend was held true for the piloting study. Whereas in the field study, on the 336 household, that trend was held quite right, all the way to third. You have higher income, higher middle, lower middle, and low income, but it not held true for that. And that's what, that's why you got to do research. You're not going to answer the same result all the time. So what had happened? I went back to that stratum number 4, that had the water number 16, largest caves you were, plethora of open spaces, abundant of construction that was taking place. I have included construction and demolition waste. This particular household, 268, had 297,000 grams of C&D waste for that day. So for the family of 3, I divided by 3, it came up 97,000 grams per person that day. So I have to include that. It was part of my waste streams. So with the inclusion of that, 1,584 grams per person per day for the stratum number 4 without checked. So this data will be soon already accepted in the Journal of Environmental Management. It will become in the Journal of Environmental Management. So with that, I got 497.3 grams per person per day of household waste generation in the city of Kathmandu, and that comes out to be 393 metric tons per day, which is about 75% of 524 metric tons. 75% of waste in the city of Kathmandu comes from household. The remaining comes from street, school, hotel, and restaurant. And I went ahead and compared that number, the 0.66 kg per capita per day, with the regional countries in South Asia as well as Southeast Asian. And then the number for Kathmandu is somewhat high in the regional comparison, but they are within the part of the Southeast Asian. Given 12 years of insufficiency, all the construction that was taking place, and C&D waste was included in my question, this number doesn't surprise me. World Bank study by Pointry says that low income country, a city, a large city, low income country, a population of 500,000 or more, will produce mixed urban waste between 0.5 to 0.75 kg per capita per day without construction and demolition waste. So in my case, Kathmandu being a city in that category, my case with C&D, 0.60 is within the part. So that is the number for city of Kathmandu. Now let's move on to waste system characteristics. This is the pilot data, 62% organic waste. We have somewhat lower recyclables. We have very high C&D, and we have an increasing hazardous waste stream. That tells something to you. Should tell something. Like I said, at the height of the insurgency in 2005, construction was taking place all over Kathmandu, and that number was justified. And there's a very effective source separation that takes place at the household level via scavenging. So those numbers were somewhat lower. And hazardous waste, it's sad, but that's reality. Often that hazardous waste are mixed with non-hazardous municipal solid waste. So we found 0.4% is the Kathmandu. And about 20 months later, in July of 2007, 71% organic waste. Somewhat higher recyclable. 30%, 5%. And hazardous waste at 1%. And then similar numbers were obtained during that time period for hazardous waste as well as other waste systems. So by far, I think we can make one judgment on here. Organic waste is on the top. So we got to look later on when we talk about management, how we are doing our management. That should tell you something about the management that's taking place in Kathmandu, at least for policy makers. Okay? So when you look through management, the cost of, because one of my questions was, determining the unit cost of expanding solid waste management, how effective it has been. World Bank states the city in low to middle income country shall not spend more than 0.5% of their GNP in solid waste management. Hanoi, Vietnam, 0.8%. Kathmandu, Nepal, over 1%. Yeah? And then this has never gone below 1%. I went back to Tribhuvan's study in 1970 when he helped to reorganize solid waste management resource mobilization center. He recommended 8% of GNP, even much higher than 1%. At the time when Federal Republic of Germany was only spending 2.4% of their GNP in solid waste management, they recommended Kathmandu spend 8%. And historically, for that percentage GNP spent in solid waste management has been above the bar recommended by all time. And yet, in 2005, I was in Kathmandu. It was a jump just down south in Sundari Pass. There were no standard landfilling practices, and these numbers don't replicate standard landfilling practices. So that is unacceptable for Kathmandu to spend that much on the top among the peer cities. And yet we are talking about unhygienic waste disposal process. So Kathmandu talks about it, and yet it's a very, very counterproductive system. So, with that, let's move on to question number 3. Basically, understanding institutional setup and the policy as well as local level that are in place to capture waste management city of Kathmandu. Okay? Right before the World Summit on Environment in Rio de Janeiro, there was a country-specific environmental report presented by Prime Minister Koirala. I went through that report, as well as UN Scouts 1997 report, and I found 69 different legislation that deal with the environment up until mid-1990s. Nepal was already party to 17 international treaties, including Basel Convention that handles the transboundary hazardous movement of hazardous waste. And Nepal already had a handful of laws dealing with solid waste management. The name Solid Waste Management Resource Mobilization Act of 1987, Solid Waste Management National Policy of 1996, and National Healthcare Waste Management Guideline of 2002, National Environmental Impact Assessment Guideline for the Municipalities of Nepal for Solid Waste Management Project 2004. So there are 4 robust laws and policies we have in place. And on the top, UN Habitat and some of the organizations together with the Ministry of Local Development, they have drafted another piece of legislation, the Solid Waste Management Legislation of 2007. If we did not have enough laws, we are still talking about some of the laws here, okay? Just for solid waste management alone. And we have a mighty Environment Protection Act of 1996, Environment Protection Rules in 1997. We have Environment Policy and Action Plan of 1993. We have several other laws, Municipality Act of 1993, Robust Local Self-Government Act of 1999. We have 2 national policies, 9 5-year plan, 97, 2002, 10 5-year plan, 2002, 2007. They outright talk about waste management. We have municipalities, 8 different government departments and ministries that deal with solid waste management. Numerous organizations at the local level and private companies. And we are here for them. That is a phenomenon. Okay? So, look at here. Where this picture comes from? Can you tell me? Any guess? This is a good time for quiz, I think. Where does this picture come from? What? Near airport. Near airport? This is north of the airport, Gukernaland. Germans built in 1986. Forecasted it will last for 200 years. It was first closed in 1993 and permanently closed in the year 2028. This is the condition of Gukernaland in the year 2007 in July. Very minimal soil cover that's applied. Leachate is still running. That's nearest households in few feet. Heavy metal contamination, the reports You can find Zygas reports, you can find other undertaking reports that talk about heavy metal and toxic metal contamination in downstream cooling. And we have hazard trapping of methane gas from this area. This is the status of landfill that was built in the year 1986. I completely understand in 1986 there was no Environment Protection Act. It came in 1996 and 1997. I understand. But we're talking about now. We went there just a few weeks ago, same context, same condition. And this landfill lies within a 5-mile radius of countries, only internationally. That is known as well. Okay? That's not enough. I understand it was built in 1986. What we are doing in Alitar and Sisto, landfills should not be built within a 90 meters from surface water runoff. In this case, virtually in Coca-Cola, within a few feet away in Coca-Cola. This is a valley 2. This is a valley 1. There's a cola right here. The presses on the rice field. After the year 1990, it's being built. So that is known. So what's been happening in Coca-Cola? This is the valley 1 that I was talking about right here. You know, lychee, semi-aerobic treatment procedure here. In that procedure, basically, lychee are being collected, aerated, and recirculated to enhance the biodegradation. That is not the case. Every aspect of lychee is done in the lava and ultimately comes to traces and Coca-Cola. And valley 2, they had an aeration, they had a lychee treatment plant followed by filtration unit. None of that was working. Directly being discharged in Coca-Cola. If you ask me how it's being done today, it's even 10 times worse. Okay, we were there closer other than my students, and I had registered outside the year. So let's look at numbers. As a scientist, we are interested about the numbers. Biochemical oxygen demand. Biochemical oxygen demand, dissolved oxygen, right? So look at Coca-Cola 2001. The land came in operation 2005 June. Look at the numbers before 2005 and the numbers after 2005. They are somewhat high. And look at the lychee, the quality of lychee, the biochemical oxygen demand for 2006 after the operation of landfill. They are 10 to the power 4 and 50 and we know the lychee is directly being discharged into Coca-Cola. So that got to tell you that we need further verification of these numbers. If you look at borehole 1 and borehole 2, upstream and downstream, certainly there is a rise in DOD and C. And then DO. What is the optimum DO for aquatic life, to survive? Anybody from here? So yeah, it's about 68 milligram per liter is what this is working. I'm sorry? 650. Yeah, I call milligram per liter. Yeah, about 6 to 8. So anytime DO reaches 4 or below, the aquatic life starts suffocating. So at 2, basically you're about to die, and 0, virtually no aquatic life. In the case of Kathmandu, here I'm talking about if the waste goes to a seasonal area, Coca-Cola is a victim. If waste into the city of Kathmandu, Bagmati and Dysfunction along with 22 tributary, that's where the waste goes. So look at the BOD in Bagmati. Do you know what is the BOD in municipal wastewater? What is the BOD for municipal wastewater? In the United States, it's 220 milligram per municipal wastewater. Look at this BOD for our river here in Bagmati. Easily exceeds the limit for our municipal wastewater in the US. That is known. And I need your help to do this kind of elaboration to justify, verify what actually is happening in this place. And my scientists in 2007, they went in every single 4 or 5 days around Alitar, Okafor,